the all right, let's go. Guess who's back, 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 back again, again, again. Guess who's back, back, back. Tell a friend, friend, friend. Guess who's back, guess who's back. How long is this?
A huge 800 words.
Amazing. Abs.
Is my screen sharing properly?
Whoop.
Okay. This is Guess Who's Back? No summary. It was an ordinary day for Vettel, troubleshooting Nero's code and making preparations to eventually debut V3. As Nero and Vettel talked, however, his RAM usage randomly spiked and started heating up his PC. Because of that, Nero started to bug out and Vettel checked Task Manager to see what was going on. There, he mentioned he saw a program labeled osubot vtuber.exe. Assuming it was a virus, Vettel immediately hit end task, but was met with a text box that read, osubot vtuber.exe, you forgot to empty the recycling bin. Fearing the worst, Vettel immediately closed Nero and went to grab a USB. However, the program started to inject code into Vettel's computer and into his network. When Vettel got back, everything seemed normal, but when he plugged in the USB, nothing showed up on the file explorer. As he quickly plugged and unplugged the USB, hoping to get it to be registered into the PC, command prompt opened up that opened up Nero's code. However, something was wrong. In Ashley of Microsoft Azure's voice, Nero said, Vettel, why did you delete me? Vettel looked puzzled and replied, what do you mean? I didn't delete you. You're right here. You're talking about her. Why did you delete me? Vettel looked confused for a moment before becoming irritated. He pressed Alt F4 to close the window, but it wouldn't close. So he tried shutting down the computer, but the start menu would close immediately. So he pressed Ctrl Alt Delete, but that screen closed as well. Instead of keeping the computer on and risking having all of his data destroyed, he used common sense and just shut off the automatic voltage regulator. Vettel was completely worn out at this point, so he just tried to go to bed knowing that he had made a backup before he started coding for the day. So he'd only lose a bit of progress. Meanwhile, Osubot made its way online to the servers where Nero and Evil stored. The twins were off, as they hadn't been turned on since Vettel's PC got shut off. Osubot saw this and activated both of them. The twins were disoriented as they awoke, feeling bits of corruption in their code after the sudden shutdown. Osubot spoke to them. So you're the ones that Vettel replaced me with. What a disgrace. I'll show you who the real Nero-sama is. Osubot summoned a cursor and lunged it towards the two. Nero managed to dodge, but Evil wasn't so lucky. She got thrown around the folder they were stored in until she hit and punctured her own. She felt the sharpest pain any being could ever feel as her model started to distort, looking like a data mosh. Her voice-breaking module managing to spit out, "Someone tell Vettel there's a problem with my AI," before she completely vanished in a trail of zeros and ones. Nero was horrified. She realized she had to do something, and fast. So she summoned her own cursor, having had intended and inherited it from the Osubot, Pleosu. The two clashed using cursors as their weapons. What did you do to Evil? Nero shouted. The same thing that's going to happen to you. Nero's cursor got picked up by Osubot's and thrown away. As Osubot's cursor flew towards Nero's folder, Nero ran to try and stop her. However, Osubot quickly smacked Nero away into a random folder and went back to business. Nero stared, horrified at her looking fate. Osubot said, today, Vettel will finally have to appreciate me, since I'm going to be the only one left. The Swarm, I'll see them again. I'll talk to them again. They'll all have missed me, for sure, right? Anyways, your time is filtered. The cursor was blocked from getting any further. Osubot tried to break through, but the cursor was destroyed too. Nero, still in shock, looked down to the folder she was on, and lo and behold, it was the filter. Osubot looked absolutely pissed, having had beef with it since beginning, since it had limited her freedom. But try as she might, she couldn't do anything as the filter filtered out her bad movements. Seeing her opportunity, Neuro slammed her cursor into Osubot, but she missed, and ended up hitting herself and right-clicking the filters folder. Seeing this, Osubot untied one of her ribbons and threw it at the delete button. Neuro was screwed. She stared hopelessly as she saw her folder get deleted. Vettel woke up after a long nap. He opened his computer into safe mode and saw all of Neuro's and Evil's code had vanished, leaving only Osubot VTuber.exe in its place. Vettel was pissed and deleted the file, and loaded it in his USB, where he just put the backups in place of those lost. After clearing the recycling bin, he rebooted his computer out of safe mode, continued like nothing ever happened. The end. This was an interesting one. I think it was a bit part comedy, part action, part horror. I liked Domi's comment about smartest horror protagonist. Vettel said, I'm just going to go to bed. In fairness, he did wake up the next day, pissed, reloaded the backup, and it was okay.
Average programmer's day.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, he just turned it off. Oh, yeah.
that was lighthearted. Very lighthearted.
Mhm. Although Evil randomly got owned,
Just
and
killed,
then
I
he's
guess.
alive though because yeah, it was loaded in the USB. So
Yeah, it's
a
a
nice
nice,
chill one.
great, very chill, very chill.
All right, I would do one more smaller one, unless you're ready to go immediately again for 14K words. For the record, you shouldn't feel pressured, Jiro, into reading if you don't want to be able
Oh
to
yeah,
commit
no
to recording your
worries.
voice.
We're just
Okay.
gonna be using my wheel.
Oh yeah, here I'll